There's a man that called it quits just yesterday after a very, very award-winning career. Can't say successful because he actually batted .500 in his attempts. But what doesn't get talked about enough about Eli Manning, not only did he stop Tom Brady from winning 2 more Super Bowl rings, which would have been 8 Super Bowl rings in a completely insufferable world to live in. If the New England Patriots in Tom Brady had 8 Super Bowl rings, imagine what the massholes like Boston Connor, please shoot him,
yikes, would
have been like if they had 2 more Super Bowl rings.
Oh.
It would have been absolutely insufferable. So not only did he stop that, okay, not only did he have 117 wins, which is more wins than, let me get these stats out, Terry Bradshaw, Jim Kelly, Steve Young, Troy Aikman, Roger Staubach, Warren Moon, Ken Stabler, Dan Fouts, Joe Namath, Kurt Warner, Bob Greasy. Most of that list is Hall of Fame company right there. I think all of that list is Hall of Fame company. He has more wins than all of those people. He has 2 Super Bowl rings, and he did it all while being in New York City, which is not an easy place to play, and he handled it in a pretty classy fashion. I mean, the most bad PR he's ever gotten is the fact that he traded himself from the Chargers to New York, and also that he got benched for Geno Smith. Those are the only bad things that are ever really talked about Eli Manning. Everything else is kind of legendary. He's playing Flip Cup at a West Virginia bar in New Jersey a couple weeks ago. All his teammates like him. There's all these stories coming out about these things he does behind the scenes that nobody hears about, whether it's tipping or hosting events or doing things like this and giving back to charity. Eli Manning is a lock for the Hall of Fame. Not because of what he did on the field, because what he did on the field was very impressive. A lot of people get caught up in the fact that he also lost 117 games. But the wins that he had, the Super Bowl that he has, it's all adding up for the fact that Eli Manning is a first ballot Hall of Famer. In 5 years from now, another Manning is going to get into the Super Bowl. And now this marks the first time in how many years? No Manning?
Since 1998.
No Manning in the NFL since 1998. So until their nephew, Cooper's kid, that is breaking all of their records in high school, gets to the NFL, there won't be another Manning. Congrats to Eli Manning on a hell of a career. And also, we got to remember, he had a terrible situation around him probably his, last 6-7 years of NFL play. But terrible. I mean, that guy that had the slick back hair that was their head coach. McAdoo. That guy was a terrible head coach. Everybody can admit that. Gettleman, for all of his, interesting guy as well. So let's put into, a little context, the losses that he's had, with also talking about everything he's dealt with, the amount of years he played in a healthy fashion. I mean, Eli Manning is a guy that's a lock at the Hall of Fame. Well, hello there. Utilize the promo code PAYTHEBILLS and get $20 off your first order from SeatGeek. Now, back to the magic.
Yeah, I mean, if he didn't play the last 6 years, his record would have been much better. Exactly. He went 6-10, 6-10, 11-5, good year. 3-12, 5-11, 1-3. Really hurt the record there at the end.
Well, I think, and it's also, we very much live in a what have you done for me lately? What have you done for me lately? And Eli Manning has not done great in recent history, which is a lot of people's recent bias, which are also a lot of the people that utilize the internet and social media are the people that are probably coming into age and into, real active fanhood during Eli Manning's crap years. You got to remember there, for the first 12 or whatever years of his career, whatever it was, he was impeccable. Not impeccable, but he was a damn good quarterback that made something out of nothing on a lot of occasions, and he stopped Tom Brady from 2 more Super Bowls.
Well, and you look at some of those guys you mentioned, like Joe Namath didn't win a playoff game outside of that year they won the Super Bowl, threw 173 touchdowns and had 220 picks. So he basically got in for that one iconic moment. So if you're going to pick and choose there, like Eli's had plenty of those iconic moments that would be deserving enough for him to get in.
We have to remember that I very much think that all these subjective awards are stupid, Hall of Fame included. But I think it is a very, very, very high honor to be selected in there and to be amongst your incredible elite peers. I think he should get in. Will he? I'm sure there'll be a hilarious conversation against it at some point 5 years from now, but he should definitely be a lock in there. Terry Bradshaw, Jim Kelly, Steve Young, Troy Aikman, Roger Staubach, Warren Moon, Ken Stabler, Dan Fouts, Joe Namath, Kurt Warner, Bob Greasy. That's a list again.
It's a who's who.
He has more wins than all those people. Yeah, but he also lost those games. It's like, yeah, well, the last 6 years he's been surrounded by trash. I mean, that's not his fault.
For years, his O-line was the worst O-line in the league. Well, it didn't help that he would just fall down. Anyone got within 3 yards.
Yeah,
of him.
he had that Manning.
That optic.
He had that Manning white flag. He had that Manning white flag in the pocket. Like, yep, you can get a sack, dude. I am out of here. And then sometimes they would do the Manning white flag when the guy maybe wasn't going to get them, which can look bad. But you got to look at the durability of the Manning brothers.
Yeah.
The durability, and that's what Tom Brady, that's what's so impressive about Tom Brady as well. The durability of these dudes to play a position where you take some massive shots. And this is just what I talked about with T.Y. Hilton, where T.Y. Hilton is an undersized wide receiver. The only time he gets hurt is whenever it's a muscle or an ankle or something like that. It's never because he takes a big shot. He has this ability to know when he should kind of get down or get out of bounds. And at the beginning of his career, a lot of people came after him, said he was soft, like, oh, he's forfeiting on that. And then as he starts stacking up seasons, it's like, oh, this guy was looking out for himself. The Manning white flag is very much the same thing. They know that the best ability is availability. Durability is a good thing to have, but I just want to be able to play the next play. And if I look soft for a second, at least I'm back on the other side of it to throw the helmet catch, another incredible, iconic moment that Eli Manning was a part of. I mean, just more and more like that.
All-time consecutive start streaks, Brett Favre, 297, Phil Rivers, 224, Eli Manning, 210.
Yeah, durable. You're going to look, hey, sometimes you're going to get posterized when you go up to try to block people. Sometimes you're going to look soft whenever you decide you want to be the most available quarterback in the history. You know what I mean? Sometimes you're just going to have to fall over and not take a massive shot from a human that is very big, running very fast, attempting to. He played during the era whenever they were ripping quarterbacks' heads off. Mm-hmm. They were back there ripping quarterbacks' heads off, and that was actually taught like, hey, you hate quarterbacks, and you don't tackle them to the ground, you tackle them through the ground. That was a real coaching point back in the day. Eli survived all that, won a bunch of times. I think he's Walter Payton Man of the Year, too, a couple times. I mean, he's for sure.